Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's time once again for the Midweek War. I am Mad Mike, and we are here to talk Impact Wrestling. With me, as always, is the voice of Inspire Pro Wrestling, Eamon Payton. How are you, sir?
Hi, Mad Mike. I'm ready as I'll ever be to talk about this show.
I'm pretty sure your hair has done something different in each of the 4 videos we've done today.
I've tried to keep it as well kept as possible. Usually this gets to the part of the show when we talk about Impact that I start ripping my hair out. So
Naturally.
It'll be this way by the end of this recap, but whatever.
All right, so Eamon, what is your word for Impact this week?
My one word for Impact this week: revenge.
Is it revenge or is it revenge?
Fun fact, if you want to watch this week's Impact, drink every time they say revenge. You will die of alcohol poisoning.
Don't do that. I mean, you can if you hate your life, but then again, you're watching Impact, so you're halfway there. My one word for this week is Tyrus.
Yeah.
Because he pretty much was the focus of the show. For better or for worse. Eamon, what was your good this week?
My good for this week, Ashley, stay with me here, came in the Lashley Pope street fight. I don't really like Pope at all.
I was going to say, was it the end of the match?
It actually kind of was.
Okay.
Because my favorite part of it was, for those that know, Lashley wins after spearing Pope. And then looks like he spears Pope again. And then is about to spear Pope a third time. But EC3's music hits to come out and stop it. But the best part is Bobby Lashley doesn't pay attention to the music and just spears Pope anyways. That was my favorite thing.
Now, Eamon, you realize that's probably because the Impact Zone doesn't have the best sound system, and he probably didn't even know the music hit, right?
Well, also because EC3 took a long time to get to the ring.
Well, I mean, why would EC3 care about saving Pope?
Who would care about saving Pope? Anyone. Daddy.
Devon Dudley?
Yeah.
Or maybe, no, Devon's kids. Devon's kids would have cared.
Those things
remember that storyline? Peppered Farm remembers.
I don't believe they're real. But no, I something I just really loved about him spearing him without a care. Like I really like that.
All right. My good for this week is going to it's going that opening promo with the Hardys, because Eamon, you called it. Hashtag prop baby. Hashtag prop baby.
I mean, am I wrong?
No, you're not. And plus, I don't want to say this. Who dresses that kid? Who the fuck dresses that kid? That kid was wearing like a Hawaiian shirt and neon green diapers. Like, what was it? Jeff Hardy on coke dressing the kid?
Wow. I don't even know about that whole thing anymore. That stable is the worst thing in wrestling right now, I feel.
Yeah.
It is the Matt Hardy brand.
It is the Matt Hardy brand. Fuck. I like how this was my good and it turned into something horrible. What was your bad this week, Eamon?
My bad for this week was how short the knockouts match was.
Mm-hmm.
It was like 3 minutes.
Yeah. And you know what the worst part of that was? They changed Madison Rain's music.
They did change your music.
Madison, for those of you longtime watchers of the Midweek War, you know I love me some Madison Rain. Her theme song I thought was one of the best that they had in TNA, and now it is the most generic thing I've ever heard in my life.
Well, we're in TNA, so. But we have a new champion in Jade, which I'm very should be excited about. Because Mia Yim's awesome. She deserves that. But really, you only gave them 3 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
And they still talk like this is the thing. They'll still talk about how the Knockouts division is the greatest women's division in the world and blah 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 blah. You're giving them 3 minutes to have a title change?
Yeah. All right, and you know what? I might as well get into this with my bad. My bad. This was bootleg mania. It legitimately was. Like, I was watching a bunch of this stuff, and I was just like, oh, so Lashley versus Pope. It's a cheap version of Brock versus Ambrose.
Okay, well,
there was a Knockouts triple threat. There was a title. There was a title match that maybe would have had a third guy, but no one wanted to see either person as champion. Like,
I like Drew Galloway. Whatever. Here's the thing. We got to keep in fairness, because when this happened with Lucha Underground with Aztec Warfare, we noted that this was filmed prior to the Royal Rumble. This was filmed prior to WrestleMania.
But it wasn't filmed prior to some of the matches being announced or at least speculated on.
Yeah, but I don't know.
They knew what they were doing with it.
I don't know if it...
They knew what they were doing with something.
But it's like
Lashley being pushed as Brock Lesnar, essentially.
I guess, but...
And they don't have an equivalent of Dean Ambrose unless you go crazy Steve. So sure, let's throw the Pope in there.
Yeah.
And it happened to be a street fight.
Well, TNA does a lot of street fights. Like they always do like dumb hardcore matches for no reason.
I know, but when was this film?
I see your point, but like I think this is filmed like it was like filmed before Mania. I get your point of like feuds were building, but like
yeah, but it just seemed like a lot of bootleg. It just seemed like a bad version of what was a really pretty good WrestleMania. Like,
oh, we even had a cage spot with a dive from the top of it.
Yeah, exactly. That was. I would like. There's a third thing in my brain that I can't think of, and it was exactly that.
I get, yeah,
exactly. That.
I mean, it wasn't Hell in a Cell, but whatever.
Of course not. But it. I knew there was a third thing that made it seem like bootleg mania to me, but yeah, it just. I mean, it wasn't a bad show, but it wasn't a good show. All right, Eamon, what will be your change this week for Impact?
Rockstar Spud. It's just frustrating me. Like we mentioned it before, like the fact that his character makes no sense now, and now he's like a coke addict. Like he's just he's like sniffing and like freaking out all over the place. Like when.
This was literally going to be my exact change too.
Was the story that Matt Hardy gave him bad drugs?
I really hope that's the story. I really hope it. All right, but it just looks horrible. Like it really does. It just. I mean, I don't even know what they're doing with him. Like, I love the fact that he ran over with like a plan and stuff. Like, that's great. That's fun. That's fun Rockstar Spud. But he looked like a junkie needing a fix.
Yeah, who directed him to do that?
Like, is there asbestos in the Impact Zone that we don't know about? Is it allergy season? Is he just? I don't know. I have no idea what was going on with that. But my change is going to come in a very. What the fuck is the rules for this Bound for Gold thing? What the fuck are the rules? You have to declare, so are they trying to steal the Gifts of the God stuff?
Yeah.
Are they trying to steal that? Are they trying to... Because they only said he has to declare before the match starts. Does that mean he can't make his own match?
So he
can only insert himself in other matches? Because that sounds horrible. Why would anybody want that?
Yeah, it's... They're writing it as they go along.
Yeah, they really are, because I guarantee someone in the back just remembered it, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we should probably reference it."
Josh Matthews mentioned we had forgotten that Tyrus had the Bound for Gold,
and I'm like,
"You're gonna mention
we haven't?
You're gonna mention that you forgot? What the fuck? Like, Ugh. By the way, as much as I like the Pope's not on the table anymore, and as much as I appreciate Jeremy Borash, Josh Matthews is just fucking.
He's the worst. He is.
Jeremy Borash tries to give him talking points and tries to like start like an actual conversation, and Josh Matthews just hits his Jeff Hardy climbing to the top of the cage. Like he gets his dumb talking points out of the way, and it's like listen to your partner and try to have an actual intellectual conversation.
I would like to hear you and Jeremy Borash on commentary.
I don't want to work for TNA.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. But yeah, and his fucking voice, like it sounds like he's always gasping for air.
Like Jeremy sounds like he's like having legitimate emotions and actually is calling it like a normal person would call it. And Josh Matthews sounds like a robot. Like
you know who I think would actually be a really, really great commentary team? Borash and Morrow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think they would be a fantastic commentary team. I think they would have a lot of fun.
JB doesn't feel as scripted, and he doesn't feel as like he lets things flow a bit more. You know what I mean? Like there's something I do appreciate about that. Josh Matthews just sounds like a record. He sounds like a literal record, a screaming record, and nobody wants to listen to that.
He just sounds like he's fucking bored with being there. I'm like, then just leave. You're not doing the product any good. He's not putting over anything that's happening.
Yeah. I really like TNA. I think is trying to do something. They're trying. I like what they're doing with Drew Galloway. I like how they've built his since he's won the title. He beat Jeff Hardy, beat Matt Hardy. I think that's great.
Yeah. I did like all the backstage stuff they were doing with Tyrus.
Yeah, like they're trying to do some good stuff.
Yeah, but Tyrus basically interacting with everyone who could possibly have an impact on if he decides to go for this title match or not. Like that was really fun.
But your announcers set the tone for the show. They're the voice, they're the narrators, they're the storytellers. So if you have a fucked up commentary team, that fucks up your whole show. It does.
Yeah, and it just saps the life out of it.
Yeah, it feels lifeless. It feels It feels like there's no energy. It feels like nobody's there motivated. Like I feel like people are motivated, but like when you have Josh Matthews just not caring, like you said, not if it comes off. Maybe he does care and doesn't know how to do any better, but it comes off as if you don't care.
Yeah, I mean, it just sounds like he can't even get excited about his wife being in a title match.
Yeah,
he can't even get excited about that. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. Like,
where's Mike Tenay? What's Mike Tenay doing?
Oh, I would kill Mike Taz, Mike Tenay, Don West, Ed Ferrara, fucking anyone.
That one guy they had with Mike Tenay and Taz for like 2 weeks or whatever.
Oh, fuck! I know. No, you can't, because they tried just him and Borash, and they have the same exact voice.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, they had the same exact voice. I remember.
But at least it feels like somebody who's actually focused, and you know, like just someone else. I actually no, that's not true because I just said all this shit about you. I'm not, but Josh Matthews, you gotta stop. You just gotta stop.
Just leave the company. Just leave the. I'd prefer Al Snow and Jeremy Borash.
Al Snow would probably be better. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, or even Pope and Borash, and I don't like Pope, but like, if Jeremy Borash was the third guy in a 3-man team, and he was like the heel voice, that would be okay. But this guy is your lead. He is your lead commentator, and he is not putting over your product. It's almost like he doesn't even want to watch the things that he's watching.
Yeah.
And like there were parts where he didn't even care about what was happening to Pope.
You just call it like a match. Like,
yeah.
Like say, like compare that to when like Vampiro was wrestling Pentagon at Ultima Lucha and how Matt Striker called it.
Or even like remember when Jim Ross used to get humiliated in Oklahoma every time, and he would get
Yeah.
thrown into matches. Like Jerry Lawler, not the best commentator in the world, but Jerry Lawler feared for Jim's life.
And you felt like there was an actual friendship there.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Like,
it doesn't even seem to me like those two tolerate each other.
yeah. It's awful.
All right. So did we miss anything on Impact? Anything of consequence? I mean,
EC3
Eddie Edwards turned down Hurricane. Shocker.
Whatever. Who
Yeah.
cares? I literally forgot that was a thing that was happening.
Mm-hmm.
EC3 and Bennett are doing a thing. I really love my favorite part about that, and it's favorite because it was bad. But when like Bennett like slipped over lines in his promo, so his response was shit. What do I do? I'm just gonna call EC3 a bitch. Like that's the thing that all TNA guys like default to is like calling someone a bitch. Like it was interesting. But yeah, I think that's everything. Pretty much. Jeff Hardy and Eric Young had a cage match. It was pretty good.
Yeah, I mean the cage match was fine, but where the fuck is Willow?
I don't know.
We had 2 weeks of Willow build up. Nothing last week. Nothing this week. Like, did they just drop it? Like Jeff Hardy was wearing a Willow shirt. That doesn't fucking count. All right. So Eamon, where'd you rank Impact this week?
It's actually number 3 this week. Going back to past shows, the only reason it's number 3 is because one of the shows this week was a recap show. Yeah, like I said, I could tell they're trying to do something different and trying to be good, but there's too many problems to where it just affects the whole show. Like,
I mean, you know, Impact for me is number 2 this week. I only watched 3 shows.
one of them was a recap show.
One of them was a literal recap show, and I'll say this: if NXT had one more match on it, NXT would have beaten. And now, at this point, it wouldn't even matter what it could have been. Angelo Dawkins versus Sawyer Fulton. I still would have ranked it above.
We haven't gotten that blow off. Remember when Sawyer Fulton said he was going to break up the tag team if they lost? And now Angelo's just teaming with another fucking guy and losing his headbands in matches.
This is true. This is true. Oh, fuck. Or like Rich Swann versus Alexa Bliss, because why not?
Oh, that would be an amazing match.
Wouldn't it?
Wouldn't that be so good?
Rich Swann would sell that glitz flip like no one's business. All right, so Eamon, where can the good people of the internet find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Eamon2Please. You can also check me out in my work for Inspire Pro Wrestling at Inspire Pro Res.
Excellent. And you can find me at MadMike4883 on the Twitter machine. Also, go to our Facebook page. Go to WrestlingMayhemShow.com, Wrestling Mayhem Show on Facebook, and we post a lot of cool shit on there. Matt Carlins just posted a story about how Eva Marie may or may not have stolen Asuka's NXT Women's title. So, yeah, go over there and check it out. And for Eamon Payton, I'm Mad Mike, and this has been your Midweek War!